Does your teenager get anxious on big tests like the SAT and ACT? Here's what that might look like. They do okay in the classroom, okay in practice, and then fall flat come test day. And if they take the big test again, the cycle repeats. They practice okay and then fall flat on test day. Sometimes the difference between practice and test day is big. This may happen on final exams or state exams, but it gets even worse when it comes to college admissions tests like the SAT or ACT. I'm Steve Schechter of Much Smarter. If your teenager is struggling with the SAT or ACT, I'd like to talk with you about the opportunity this presents for you. Let's talk about how you can help your teenager turn their SAT, ACT struggles into a learning experience that will help them succeed, not just on the SAT or ACT, but for life. I call this the bigger opportunity in SAT, ACT training. In this video, I'm going to help you recognize and understand the problem of test anxiety as a first step in guiding you toward the solution. First, let's share some perspective about test anxiety. It's way more common than you might think. An estimated 10 to 40% of students experience anxiety on the SAT or ACT. Students with test anxiety are a sizable portion of the students who seek our help at Much Smarter. See if this feels familiar to you. Your teenager has worked hard, does well generally, has clearly demonstrated capability, but the result they're looking for on tests like the SAT or ACT stays well beyond their grasp. So the doors that a great test score could open might not open. You think, how is it possible that a 2 to 3 hour test could stand in the way of my teenager's dreams? That's frustrating, yes. But more important, what do you do about it? You're successful and a problem solver, and it does not sit right with you that your teenager simply has to settle for a situation that is such a mismatch with what you know to be their true capability. Well, you don't have to settle for that mismatch. Your teenager can turn this challenge into an opportunity for success, not just on the SAT or ACT, but for life. To take a step toward the solution, let's take a closer look at the problem. The biggest part of the problem is the pressure. Take a look around. For a teenager, the pressure is everywhere. Some teenagers feel the pressure of family expectations. Some feel extra pressure because they are comparing themselves with their siblings or with their peers. Some feel pressure because of what they hear about how competitive things are, and they're anxious about their future. Is it any wonder that a teenager may begin to see the big test as a life or death situation? Sometimes they've not prepared in the right way, so they've not built up true confidence, and that adds to their sense of pressure. On top of all that, pressure is built into the SAT, ACT experience because teens misunderstand what the test is really all about. They approach the SAT and ACT as if they were intelligence tests. They view them as a measure of how smart they are. Who wouldn't be anxious to take a test if they thought it might reveal that they're not smart? Like it or not, a young person's self-esteem gets wrapped up in how well they do on these tests, and so more pressure. So we've introduced you to the problem. In the next video in this 6-part series, we'll dive a little deeper and share how test anxiety interferes with performance. See you there.